Welcome into Kix Gaming. I am Kix, and in today's video, we are going to do another Pro Controller unboxing and review video. This time, I was smart enough to take the controller out of the box because I am not good at making ASMR videos, but I will not rob you of the boxing experience. Today, we are looking at the HexGaming Phantom complete bundle. So this is the box, very elegant looking. And then inside the box comes with a nice Pro Controller case. Not gonna lie, that wasn't my best unzip. And reveal. Ta-da! Alright, let's go ahead and take this out. So, notable inside the case, up in the top, there is the instruction booklet. There is a super long and premium cord. Before we get the controller, it also comes with a number of options of interchangeable thumbsticks. You have your wider concaves, if you like a wider concave on the left stick. And these come in both tall and short sizes. And then same with the convex, the rounded top. So I can envision myself using probably the wide concave on my left stick for movement, and then probably this right domed on my right stick for aim. A lot of people like to run a short one on the left stick for movement and a tall one on the top stick for their aim. I am not very good at running two different size sticks, so I'm going to either have to pick tall or short. So those are the extra sticks. Now let's take a look at this controller. That is a beautiful controller right there. So this is the all matte black one. If we look on the front, it's got the Phantom logo and the HexGaming start button there. Standard buttons. This is a PS4 version. If we flip to the back, that's where we get some of my favorite features with this controller. Like a lot of Pro controllers, you have adaptive triggers. What I really like about this one is, does it have 3 trigger depths? So there's a full trigger press for your race car games or any games that you need to have that flexibility. And then there's just 2 modes. And then you have your instant triggers for your FPS. So my favorite thing about this, and one of the things that I think sets the HexGaming controllers apart, is a lot of the Pro controller companies that do these adaptive triggers, they go with a 1mm trigger press, which is what I think these are 1.5. I would have to look it up on the website. But for you console players, 1.5, especially on PlayStation, is essentially their standard. So it sounds great going with a 1mm trigger press, but I'm going to show you a controller from another manufacturer real quick, and I'm going to tell you what I've found my problem with 1mm instant triggers is. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this up, but the problem that I find with these 1mm triggers is when you're playing FPS games and the trigger press is such a shallow click. If you're playing a game like Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, anything where you're holding down to fire, when the trigger depths are that shallow, it will actually sometimes miss clicks. Um, so I've had in Marvel Rivals or Fortnite where I depress my trigger and my gun doesn't go off because it's such a shallow click. I have never had that with the HexGaming Phantom. So this black one is my new one, but I will say I'm pretty familiar with this controller because, one moment, this new black one is my second one. I have also the gray and black. But that doesn't mean that this newer one that we are not gonna test out and take a look at like we would any other controller. But so this is my second HexGaming Phantom, which obviously if I bought a second one, I was pretty fond of the first one to begin with. So let's go ahead and get into features. These have the Hall effect sticks, and they are the quality blue Hall effect modules they use in these Hex Gamings. On the back, besides the instant triggers that we already went over, they have 4 remappable back paddles. So I have a ton of Pro controllers, and this is by far my favorite back paddle system on any controller. As you can see, I don't have huge hands. I'm not like an NBA player or anything, but what I find with Pro controllers, even with small hands like mine, is pretty much any other brand of Pro controller that has a 4 back button setup, even with smaller fingers and smaller hands, I cannot get to a hand position where it's comfortable to use all 4 triggers easily. I either, on other ones, I either end up having to have my hand in an unnatural position, which isn't great for my gaming to utilize 4 triggers, or I just simply have to disable 2 of them, which then you're not getting the maximum value. But with these, they sit naturally. So as I would hold the controller, your fingers can easily touch all 4 paddles, and you can just hold the controller as normal. It does take a little getting used to, but if you're not used to playing with paddles or 4 paddles, but literally I think after about a half hour you'll be adapted if you're a controller player. In the middle here, this is not only how you remap your back paddles, but also this controller contains 6 different programming profiles. So a lot of other Pro controllers, you would have to remap back paddles every time if you have different binds for different games. With the 6 separate profiles, you can have, I don't have binds for more than 6 games. I think I used 3 out of the 6 profiles on mine. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. You can see right now it is illuminated on green, which has my binds for Marvel Rivals. If I hit the button twice, it is now blue. That is a different profile, which you can have 4 completely different mappings for. Yellow, purple, white, off, and then blue, which these are my Fortnite binds. So definitely one of the best features is that the 4 back paddles are really easy to use, and the 6 different remappable profiles. Let's go ahead and let's bring up Gamepad Tester and test out the accuracy of these Hall effect sticks. Alright, so I went ahead and got this hooked up to the PC, and we have Gamepad Tester open. If you are not aware of this site, this is just hardwaretester.com/gamepad. It will show you the calibration of your sticks. You can test the error rate and then just check all of your buttons. So being that this is on my Fortnite profile, this should be, let's see, jump, so X. Yep, so this back paddle, you can see as I hit it, it's showing, it's showing an Xbox controller, but it would be X on a PlayStation. And this is going to be R3, because this would be my slide. Registers R3. And along with your trigger presses, all your buttons. But the main thing we want to test is how accurate are these Hall effect sticks. So I am going to check the little radio button here for test circularity. And I'm going to give them a slow spin here. 3.1% error rate on the left stick. Ooh, 2.2%, sorry, error rate on the right stick. So that is actually incredibly accurate. I just actually there's another controller review video that I will link at the end of this video, and I thought that that was the lowest I had ever seen with the TMR sticks, but this is better, I believe. Let's go ahead and test it one more time, just to see if I fumbled that left stick a little bit or not. No, 3.9%. 2.4%. So these Hall effect sticks are incredibly accurate, perfectly calibrated, as you can see from the axis from the 0.01176. With Hall effect sticks, you can recalibrate them, and this actually does come with a recalibration tool. So if you ever do start to get stick drift, there is, let me get out the instruction manual here. Get it behind that. It's a nice thick instruction manual. It comes with a tool here that you essentially open up this. I'll get it up right on the camera. This little hatch here, you can use this tool to recalibrate it back to center. There also are some very good just recalibration tools online, software that allow you to take them right back to center too on GitHub and various other websites. I believe Battle Beaver has one as well. Oh, and then the last thing I didn't see in here, but silicone rings. So if I actually do want to change one of these thumbsticks, because I'm going to play with this tonight, I'm just going to pop off this short concave. So you can see I have the stick popped off there. I want to swap it out for this dome. Just going to go ahead and pop this dome on here and give it a press to lock it in place. If you want to protect your sticks, though, that's where these little baggies of the baggie of silicone rings comes in. These are joystick protector rings. So you could take off the thumbstick and stretch the rubber ring on just to enclose it on the end of the thumbstick. It's supposed to also protect and increase the duration of your sticks. I have never used them, and my previous gray and black one that I showed you, my HexGaming, the sticks are still very accurate on them. Not this low of an error rate, but that controller is also 2 years old and probably still running at a sub 5% error rate. I think last time I checked it, it was like 4.4. So yeah, this is definitely probably my favorite Pro controller that I've ever used. I have been using HexGamings for several years now, and like I said, just picked up another one. This is a really great controller, not only for competitive shooters, but Also, just for your single player story modes, for race car games, it's a really good all-purpose controller. It does work on PC, or you can get PlayStation or Xbox specific ones. HexGaming does a number of different Pro controllers if you're looking for different styles. But this, the Phantom, I had been having my eye on this ever since it was a Kickstarter project, and I feel like I've tested thousands of dollars worth of Pro controllers, and at least for me, this is my favorite Pro controller I have ever played with. If you guys have any questions about this controller, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. For all of you that have been liking, hyping the videos, and new subscribers to the channel, really appreciate you. Helps the channel grow. That is going to be all for this video, but we will go ahead and catch you in the next one.